Angela, that was a very appreciated birthday shout out, so thank you. I'd like to start by telling you guys a story about a little interaction or experience I had this past February. So for those that don't know, I'm on the indoor track team at DoverSherbornHighSchool, long jumper, triple jumper, sprinter. And this was the TVL championship at the Reggie Lewis Center. So the TVL is basically, it's the culmination of all the surrounding towns. So Bellingham, Norton, Medway, and then I think there's 11 in total. So this was the final, it was the last hour, the showdown, as they say. And so I was competing in the long jump. And for those that don't know, the Reggie Lewis Center it's very chaotic. It's a 200-meter track in the middle of Roxbury, Massachusetts, and it is just mayhem, people bustling everywhere. And I always get pretty nervous before I compete. Just the anticipation of it all, I don't know, it just gets to me. And I was also specifically nervous today because I had pulled my hamstring 2 weeks prior in a dual meet against Millis. So the pressure was on. And I remember I walked into the Reggie Lewis Center with my hood on and my sweatpants, and I felt the sweat go down my back. I was petrified for some reason. And I sat on the bleachers, which are these big wooden bleachers, with my teammates, and my coach said that this was going to be the last event of the day, the boys' long jump. So I had to wait the entire time before I competed, which made the anticipation build even more. But I remember the unique thing about today was a good friend of mine, Walker Adams. I think he's in the audience somewhere, so Walker, you can feel free to give a shout out at any time. He didn't actually compete on the team, but he was a friend of mine that I had made on the outdoor season of last year. And Walker is, how do I describe you, Walker? Authentic, he's funny, but also personable and confident, all combined into this beautiful man. And on this specific day, I think you showed up in like a Hawaiian t-shirt and khaki shorts, and it was about 28 degrees outside, so that gave me a good laugh, eased the nerves a little bit. But anyway, getting back to the gist of it, I remember seeing him walk in, and I remember immediately feeling a little bit of the nervousness kind of subside. And he came up to me, and he could tell I wasn't, my usual self. I'm very talkative and easygoing, but before track meets, I tend to get very in my own head. And the way Walker works is he gets everyone involved from all the other towns. So he was, jousting the Medfield kids and making fun of these people, and I was just in it, just laughing. And by the time it was actually time for me to compete, I remember a lot of the nervousness had subsided, and I was back to my usual authentic self. And that day, without going into too much detail, I was able to jump the farthest I've ever done by 9 inches. I did well against the other teammates or towns, and I think I owe it to Walker's authenticity. The moral here is that authenticity is so infectious. When you are yourself, you bring others out and give them the permission to shine their lights. But with authenticity, it's hard to be yourself. It's easier said than done. And for me personally, I've always kind of had this weird part of my life that has been hard to be open about. At a young age, I was diagnosed as being legally blind, and it hasn't really stopped me from doing my, I'm on the track team, I play guitar, I've been in plays, but it has given me a unique perspective in the sense that I still have vision where I can get around, but I don't have the vision where I can read print. I have to read Braille. So growing up, I often found like I was stuck in the middle a little bit. So if you guys actually, let me give you just a little hands-on demonstration of what I see so you can get a better perspective. If you take your left hand and cover your left eye completely like this, and then take your right hand and do a little toilet paper tube and go like that, and then imagine that you're looking through a very chlorinated pool. So that little window right here is how I see all of you beautiful people in the world. But in this moment that this story I'll tell you now is I felt so inauthentic with my visual impairment. I was in economics class my junior year, and the way it worked was I was the only junior in a class full of seniors. And I used this Braille note, so it's about the size, if you could picture like an iPad, and it has a Braille display on the bottom. So I wish I should have done that. Anyway, it's really loud when you type on it, and it's kind of, people think it's fascinating, but it draws a lot of attention towards me. And, being a junior in high school, attention isn't really something you need or want. But I remember sitting there, it was the first day of school, and I was so nervous to use this Braille note because the people that were in this class, while they were accepting, they didn't know my story. So I remember I came up with shaky hands, and I placed my Braille note on the desk, And I will admit, those first 2 weeks of school were really nerve-wracking. I didn't know if I was getting judged or looked at, and I probably was, but maybe it's beauty. The beauty is I couldn't see them, so I guess, what you can't see doesn't exist? No, but anyway, I was really nervous to do this, but my mom always told me that in times of insecurity or anxiety, it's better just to own it and to take that uncomfortable first step into the unknown. And I think by doing this, it gave me, the first 2 weeks, while uncomfortable, it gave permission to my classmates to be more comfortable around me and understand that I was here to learn as much as they were, just in a different fashion. But like anything, judgment is always going to exist. You're never going to eliminate judgment. That would be, I wish I could do that, but that's just, it's not possible. So here, another story. I feel like I'm telling a story today. It's nice. This is an Indian proverb that my dad actually told me. It goes that there was a small ancient village in India, and there were 5 blind men. God, a lot of the blind, I keep bringing this stuff up. No, there was 5 blind men, and they were treated like kings. They were paraded around. They were kind, compassionate, and they were treated as these men of honor and hierarchy. And what ended up happening was they always wanted to know what an elephant looked like, because the queen of this specific community or village always rode around on an elephant. And they thought that an elephant would be small and petite because the queen was very dainty, and they thought that it was a strong creature, but not one of the magnitude that people made it out to be. But then again, sometimes they thought it would be big and monstrous, because in the stories, that's what it always said. So as a testament, I guess, to the king's kindness, the community brought an elephant into the center of the village and instructed the blind men to touch a part of the elephant and guess what the creature was. And I should also say, they didn't know it was an elephant. This was a complete mystery. And the first blind man, he touched the tail of the elephant and thought it was a snake. And then the next elephant touched, I believe it was the trunk, and thought it was a turtle shell with the hard calcified outside. Now, I'm not going to say the other 3, but none of them got it right. None of them got that it was an elephant. Now, the thing is, as we constantly move through our lives, we'll be constantly judged, and people won't see us for our true selves. But really, we are the elephant. We don't change. It's just people throw their judgments upon us. And to provide another example of this kind of judgment that I thought of is we're taught manners as young people. We're taught to say the right thing and ask a question. But in reality, we still face judgment even if we follow these societal's versions of perfection. So it seems that getting rid of judgment is inadequate, but rather connecting on an internal level is more probable. So to end this speech with a quote that I really like, it's by Ed Milet, he's a professional speaker, TEDx speaker. He says that the quality of our lives is the quality of the questions that we ask ourselves. So for me personally, I find it's hard to go home at night and just ask yourself, like, what makes me unique? What makes me different? Because it's so foreign and unnatural. But if we can analyze the situations in our lives and the people and ask ourselves, are these the people that I want to surround myself with, or the experiences I want to have, we're more likely to connect on a deeper level with ourselves. And I think in terms of connecting and being authentic, it's about looking internally and not getting the external views of other people, and finding confidence internally without the external world's opinion weighing in on you. So that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you guys so much for your time, and I look forward to meeting all you guys out there. Thank you.